Something unbelievable reportedly unfolded outside a nightclub in Atlanta, a scene that would immediately ignite the entire hip-hop world. According to multiple online sources, T.I. was allegedly arrested after attempting to confront 50 Cent in person. What began as a heated disagreement quickly escalated into a situation that nobody anticipated. Witnesses claim voices were raised, security rushed in, and in the blink of an eye, one of rap's most legendary figures was being escorted away in handcuffs as cameras flashed relentlessly. But this confrontation did not emerge from thin air. It was the culmination of a feud that had been simmering quietly for nearly 20 years. A feud defined by diss tracks, public jabs, accusations, and family members dragged into the drama, ultimately culminating in federal paperwork that sent shockwaves across social media. Just days before the alleged nightclub confrontation, the Harris family reportedly released documents that implicated 50 Cent in a federal investigation connected to the murder of one of his former associates. The internet erupted. A man who spent decades building his reputation by calling out rats was suddenly accused of the very thing he spent years warning others against. In hip-hop, such allegations are explosive, almost nuclear. Once the papers surfaced, the feud exploded online. Social media became a battlefield. Fans picked sides, dissecting every line, every post, every interview. Bloggers and YouTubers resurfaced old footage and quotes, analyzing past events as though preparing for a trial. Diss tracks rained down, each one more brutal than the last. T.I. responded with song after song, while 50 Cent eschewed traditional rap responses, opting instead for relentless trolling via Instagram memes aimed at the Harris family. What started as a challenge over musical dominance had escalated into a digital war with personal stakes. Family members were pulled into the conflict, photos of Tiny Harris circulated online, and T.I.'s son, King Harris, joined the fray, sharing documents that allegedly tied 50 Cent to federal investigations. What began as online beef had taken a terrifyingly personal turn. Then came the nightclub incident. Witnesses reported a tense confrontation. T.I. allegedly approached 50 Cent, voices escalated, and security intervened to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control. Within minutes, authorities were involved, and T.I. was reportedly arrested. Cameras captured every moment, and rumors spread instantly across social media, igniting yet another wildfire in a feud that already seemed uncontainable. And then something even more surprising happened. 50 Cent deleted every single post about T.I., every meme mocking the Harris family, every jab he had thrown online in the past weeks. The man who built his career on being fearless and relentless wiped his Instagram clean. Fans were stunned. Analysts began speculating. Was this damage control, legal advice, or did the Harris family reveal something that forced 50 Cent to retreat? The sudden deletion only deepened the mystery and intensified the tension surrounding the feud. To truly understand why the nightclub confrontation allegedly happened, one must go all the way back to the beginning. The T.I. 50 Cent rivalry did not emerge overnight. It has roots stretching back almost 2 decades, built on competition, public perception, and unresolved accusations. Back in the mid-2000s, both men were at the pinnacle of hip-hop. T.I. ruled Atlanta. His albums dominated charts, his style shaped Southern rap, and fans celebrated him as the king of the South. Meanwhile, in New York, 50 Cent was untouchable. After the success of Get Rich or Die Tryin', he became a powerhouse with influence far beyond music. The G-Unit empire stretched into clothing, movies, business deals, and global branding. At that time, there wasn't a feud, more like 2 heavyweight champions circling each other from opposite coasts. Fans debated whose catalog was stronger. Critics analyzed style, influence, and cultural impact, but direct conflict was minimal. Respect, more than rivalry, defined the relationship. That dynamic changed in 2007. T.I.'s career took a dramatic turn when he was arrested on federal gun charges, accused of attempting to purchase machine guns and silencers despite legal prohibitions. The case shocked the industry. T.I. ultimately struck a plea agreement, serving roughly 1 year in prison along with community service and mentoring programs. Fans admired how he handled the situation, praising him for taking responsibility while remaining involved in his community. But 50 Cent did not offer sympathy. Immediately, he questioned the leniency of T.I.'s sentence in interviews and in music. In his view, someone caught with that many firearms should have faced far harsher consequences. From there, accusations started circulating. 50 Cent implied that T.I. had cooperated with authorities to receive a reduced sentence, a dangerous allegation in hip-hop, where street credibility can define legacy. For years, the rumor clung to T.I., haunting his reputation and creating tension between the two artists. The feud deepened only months later. T.I. and his wife, Tiny Harris, were arrested for possession of drugs resembling ecstasy, alongside marijuana. Again, critics questioned the legal outcomes. And once more, 50 Cent inserted himself into the conversation, publicly questioning why Tiny hadn't taken responsibility for the charges to shield T.I., a comment perceived as an insult to T.I.'s family. Small sparks began forming into lasting tension. Over the years, the beef simmered on and off. Occasional reconciliations occurred, phone calls exchanged, grievances aired privately, but old wounds never fully healed. Fast forward to recent years, and the feud reignited over what seemed at first like a harmless event, a Versus Battle Challenge. The popular Instagram Live series had become a cultural touchstone, pitting artists against each other in a catalog-by-catalog showdown. T.I. claimed that he and 50 Cent had privately agreed to face off, but when T.I. went public with the challenge, 50 Cent either denied the agreement or mocked it publicly, calling it unnecessary and lame. T.I. reportedly felt disrespected, and the online battle erupted. From there, the escalation was rapid. 50 Cent's trolling on Instagram intensified. Memes mocked T.I. and the Harris family. T.I. responded with a series of diss tracks, trading lyrical blows with devastating accuracy. King Harris, T.I.'s son, entered the fray, posting documents that allegedly tied 50 Cent to a 2009 murder investigation of Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher, a former associate. The papers suggested that 50 Cent had cooperated with authorities out of fear for his life, allegedly implicating music executive James "Jimmy Henchman" Rosemond. In hip-hop culture, being labeled a snitch can instantly erode credibility, and for 50 Cent, who built his image around street credibility and calling out others, the accusations were seismic. 50 Cent denied all allegations, calling the documents fabricated. He insisted there was no proof, challenging anyone to provide verifiable evidence. But the damage had already spread. Internet debates raged, fans chose sides, and old interviews resurfaced. Family members were drawn deeper into the conflict. Posts about Tiny Harris circulated, insults targeted 50 Cent's late mother, and the feud escalated beyond music into deeply personal territory. The situation became so absurdly viral that even the South Fulton Police Department in Metro Atlanta joked about it, saying people were calling to report the verbal discrepancy of lyrical proportions, a clear sign of how widespread the attention had become. Then came the alleged real-world confrontation outside the Atlanta nightclub. Reports claimed T.I. attempted to face 50 Cent in person. Tempers flared, security intervened, and authorities stepped in, resulting in T.I.'s reported arrest. Videos circulated, showing heated exchanges, pushing fans into frenzied speculation. The lines between online trolling and real-world action blurred, bringing a digital feud into tangible consequences. Immediately following this alleged incident, 50 Cent erased his online presence regarding T.I. and the Harris family. Posts, memes, and jabs disappeared. The man who rarely backed down wiped his Instagram clean. Analysts debated the implications. Was it legal advice, a preemptive measure, or an acknowledgement that the resurfaced documents were credible? The sudden deletion amplified the intrigue, leaving fans, media, and industry insiders questioning every possible angle. This feud encompasses layers of complexity. Regional pride is a key factor. Atlanta versus New York. Career competition and legacy disputes remain central. Allegations of past cooperation with authorities have resurfaced. Family involvement has turned the conflict personal. And now, an alleged physical confrontation has elevated the stakes even further. What began as minor shade in the 2000s has transformed into one of hip-hop's most chaotic modern conflicts. Diss tracks, memes, federal documents, deleted social media posts, and handcuffs. Over the years, both T.I. and 50 Cent have offered public commentary, sometimes carefully measured, sometimes scathing. In interviews, T.I. has made it clear that discussions about his wife were completely off-limits, asserting that no man should expect a woman to take the fall in legal matters. That moment marked a turning point. It shifted the conflict from career competition to personal boundaries. For a while, this intervention appeared to cool the feud. Private conversations reportedly occurred, where both men aired grievances and agreed to move forward without prolonging public conflict. Yet for all the quiet periods, the underlying tension never fully dissipated. For years, it seemed as if the rivalry had been buried, not friendly but dormant, a powder keg waiting for a spark. That spark came during the pandemic era, when new entertainment phenomena like social media live streams, streaming battles, and viral meme culture amplified minor grievances into global spectacles. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube became accelerants, allowing rapid dissemination of accusations, diss tracks, and memes. What once might have stayed regional or private was now magnified to a worldwide audience in minutes. This amplification exposed every historical wound. Past arrests, legal troubles, family incidents, and even decades-old interviews became ammunition. Old narratives, cooperation with authorities, disagreements over career respect, family commentary, resurfaced in digital forms, fueling online debate. Fans dissected lyrics, tweets, and Instagram posts, reconstructing timelines and creating elaborate storylines that blurred fact and fiction. Memes, photos, and rumors circulated freely, turning the feud into a spectacle of unprecedented scale. Despite this, legal and strategic considerations remain at play behind the scenes. Preservation requests, potential subpoenas, and the specter of discovery could turn private exchanges into public records. Each move, public statement, social media post, or private conversation carries potential consequences. Advisors, lawyers, and managers all weigh the risks. High-profile feuds like this are rarely spontaneous. They are carefully monitored, measured, and prepared for escalation or resolution. The current situation underscores how complex modern hip-hop beefs can be. What started as musical rivalry evolved into a multi-dimensional conflict involving personal reputation, family, legal exposure, and global perception. The dynamics are no longer contained within lyrics or Instagram. They extend to legal, business, and cultural arenas. Old rivalries have been reignited, new controversies surfaced, and the stakes continue to rise. Whether this marks the end of the T.I. 50 Cent feud or the beginning of another explosive chapter remains uncertain. Hip-hop history shows that old beefs rarely disappear. They wait, simmer, and reignite when the timing or the platform is right. And right now, the world is watching, fascinated, anxious, and unsure of what comes next. Every post, rumor, and report is analyzed, reanalyzed, and debated. Fans, media, and insiders alike are invested in the story unfolding in real time. From Atlanta nightclubs to New York boardrooms, from Instagram posts to federal documents, the T.I. 50 Cent feud is a vivid reminder of how past actions, personal choices, and public perception converge in hip-hop culture. A dispute that began with subtle tension in the mid-2000s has now become a defining moment, illustrating the intricate interplay between reputation, legacy, and digital age amplification. In the end, this feud is more than music. It's personal, legal, historical, and social. And until verified facts, official statements, or legal actions emerge, the story remains fluid, unpredictable, and mesmerizing. Hip-hop fans, insiders, and media outlets alike are glued to every development, knowing that when two titans collide under the microscope of global attention, the outcome can be explosive, transformative, and unforgettable. For those unfamiliar, Verza's battles weren't just musical events, they were cultural phenomena. They brought legendary artists face-to-face in live-streamed showdowns, each performing their biggest hits while fans watched, commented, and voted online. What started as a clever way to showcase hits during the pandemic quickly evolved into some of the most viewed musical events on the internet. Fans didn't just watch, they debated, celebrated, and sometimes even argued over who truly reigned supreme in hip-hop. It was a stage where respect, legacy, and pride were on full display. And that's exactly the stage where T.I. decided to make his move. On 50 Cent's birthday, T.I. posted a video directly challenging him to a Verza's battle. The video wasn't subtle. T.I. laid down the gauntlet, telling 50 to show up with 20 of his biggest songs and face him in a live showdown. His tone carried confidence, unapologetic and self-assured, but it wasn't just a friendly challenge. There was a jab cleverly woven in. T.I. reminded fans of one of the most infamous chart battles in hip-hop history, the 2007 rivalry between Kanye West and 50 Cent, when Kanye's album Graduation outsold 50's Curtis. That moment had symbolically shifted the direction of hip-hop culture, and T.I.'s message suggested he believed he could do the same. It was bold, audacious, and perfectly calculated to stir the internet. But 50 Cent didn't bite. He laughed off the challenge publicly, dismissing it on social media as if it wasn't worth his time. To the casual observer, the story seemed to end there, a simple birthday jest and an ignored challenge. Most assumed this was just another case of old SC. Cool bravado clashing with modern publicity. Yet, in the nuanced world of hip-hop, where timing, respect, and history intertwine, nothing ever stays buried for long. Fast forward to early 2026. Out of nowhere, T.I. began revisiting the idea of a Verza's battle. But this time, the context was different, and his comments raised eyebrows across the hip-hop world. He claimed that the battle had already been discussed privately between him and 50 Cent. According to T.I., the idea wasn't random. They had supposedly talked about it while performing shows together in Los Angeles. In this telling, T.I. had been chosen to publicly announce the matchup. But once the challenge was in the public sphere, 50 Cent allegedly acted confused, pretending that the conversation had never occurred. This accusation didn't just raise eyebrows, it ignited a cultural fuse. In hip-hop, questioning a rival's character is more than just a dig, it's a declaration. To call someone dishonest or insincere in such a public, communal space can permanently alter the landscape of respect and legacy. T.I. was making it clear. If 50 didn't want the battle, he should have said so. Instead, he claimed, 50 Cent pretended the entire idea was fabricated. And in hip-hop, pretending to forget a commitment or conversation isn't just a personal slight. It's a direct attack on credibility. When T.I.'s accusations hit the internet, 50 Cent's response was swift, calculated, and brutal. He didn't just reject the idea of a battle, he attacked T.I.'s entire public persona. But the method of attack was unusual. Instead of responding with a diss track, which is the traditional path in hip-hop feuds, 50 Cent chose social media as his weapon. And if there's one thing the world knows about 50 Cent, it's that when it comes to trolling, timing, and digital warfare, he's almost impossible to beat. Within hours, 50 Cent's Instagram was alive with content. Old clips resurfaced, specifically targeting moments tied to T.I.'s legal history. One clip was from the controversial 2008 Crime Stoppers commercial, where T.I. had appeared urging communities to report crime. Another was footage of T.I. testifying during a courtroom case involving the killing of his close friend Philando Johnson. Each post came with captions dripping in mockery, pushing a narrative that T.I. wasn't just a rival rapper, he was a snitch. And then came the nickname. In a single Instagram comment, 50 Cent referred to T.I. as King Rat. In hip-hop, words matter and names matter even more. This one phrase ignited an inferno online. Blogs picked it up, Twitter exploded, and fans started digging through old court documents and interviews, trying to discern the truth. Suddenly, what had been a potential Versus showdown had evolved into a full-blown character assassination. But T.I. wasn't about to remain silent. Almost immediately, he fired back. His response was measured, yet it carried undeniable weight. He posted something along the lines of, "You playing on my name when only one of us a rat in real life." And then, with deliberate intent, he added something even more explosive. He claimed he had paperwork. In the culture of hip-hop, paperwork is loaded language. It suggests legal documents, court filings, or transcripts that could definitively prove cooperation with law enforcement, a charge that can destroy reputations permanently. The battle had shifted. It was no longer about music. It was about credibility, legacy, and respect, the pillars upon which hip-hop stands. Then 50 Cent crossed another line. Instead of directly responding to T.I., he posted an unflattering photo of Tiny Harris, T.I.'s wife. The caption was cruelly suggestive, clearly meant as a warning to T.I. to stop dragging him into public disputes. But this move touched a nerve. Attacking family members in rap feuds is widely considered off-limits. Fans, media outlets, and commentators alike reacted with disbelief. The Harris family felt the sting, and the situation escalated rapidly. And then, unexpectedly, the first public response came not from T.I., but from his son, King Harris. Within minutes, King was on Instagram defending his mother. His posts were fiery, emotional, and packed with references to 50 Cent's past controversies. In one viral post, he shared a courtroom image of 50 and wrote, "All you do is apply pressure to females. Bring that smoke to the chimney." That statement made it clear. King Harris wasn't afraid to confront 50 Cent. But he didn't stop there. Another post referenced 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, warning him to stop dragging family into this feud. The gloves were off. At this point, the conflict had spiraled beyond music. It involved entire families, legacies, and deeply personal histories. Fans watching online were captivated, refreshing Instagram feeds every few minutes, waiting for the next post, meme, or track to drop. Yet 50 Cent continued his strategy. Rather than responding with music, he doubled due. WN on trolling. He reposted old clips, mocked the Harris family in new memes, and kept the drama alive on every major hip-hop blog and podcast. Then unexpectedly, another figure entered the narrative, Tina Knowles, mother of Beyonce. She posted a supportive message praising Tiny Harris, not aggressive, just uplifting, calling Tiny's confidence and beauty real feminine energy. But in classic 50 Cent fashion, this too became fodder. He reposted the image with a sarcastic caption, mocking her involvement, leaving fans stunned. The post was quickly deleted, along with much of his other feud-related content, as backlash intensified. The feud wasn't just online chatter anymore. T.I.'s sons, including King and Damani, released their own diss tracks. Tracks like Sayless landed hard, pushing back against 50 Cent's attacks and defending their family's honor. T.I. himself released multiple songs, The Right One and others, escalating the musical side of the feud. In interviews, T.I. explained that his actions were about protecting his wife and children, not just retaliating against 50 Cent. He admitted seeing his kids drawn into the feud was difficult, but expressed pride in their defense of their mother. The online spectacle became so intense that even local police departments jokingly addressed rumors about their involvement, clarifying the matter was entirely outside their jurisdiction. And as exchanges peaked, 50 Cent scrubbed his Instagram, explaining that he simply didn't want certain faces on his page anymore. What had begun as a potential Versus battle had evolved into a sprawling conflict involving diss tracks, resurfaced allegations, viral memes, deleted posts, and even celebrity commentary. The feud had morphed from music and entertainment into something deeply personal. Family, credibility, and respect were now the central stakes. Fans debated endlessly who won in this chapter, but the larger question lingered. Would it ever truly end, or was another escalation inevitable? In hip-hop, when families are drawn into public conflict, the rules change. Respect and retaliation aren't just abstract. They're lived, felt, and defended fiercely. This feud demonstrated exactly why some lines should never be crossed. Just when the digital war seemed to settle into a cycle of memes versus tracks, T.I. made a move that shifted the narrative yet again. He returned to the studio, dropping 4 diss tracks in rapid succession: War, The Right One, What Bully, and Lessons. Each track targeted 50 Cent directly, showcasing not only T.I.'s lyrical skill, but also the depth of preparation he had put into this confrontation. Fans were stunned. 4 high-profile diss tracks in less than a week wasn't just escalation. It was a declaration of intent. But 50 Cent's response was unconventional. Even after 4 diss tracks, he refused to respond musically. Instead, he doubled down on social media, posting memes and sarcastic commentary, suggesting T.I. was desperate for attention. His silence raised a critical question for fans. Was 50 Cent avoiding a musical battle, or was he strategizing something far bigger behind the scenes? The ambiguity added another layer to the drama, keeping fans riveted and commentators theorizing about the next move. Then a twist no one anticipated dropped: federal paperwork. Leaks, documents, or court filings emerged online, bringing the feud into legal territory. Suddenly, what began as a lighthearted, or at least competitive, musical challenge had shifted into a full-blown matter of public record and accountability. Fans and media outlets scrutinized every detail, dissecting legal claims, past court testimonies, and statements from years ago. The stakes were no longer about who had better hits or meme skills. They were about credibility, legacy, and the potential for permanent damage to public image. In the end, what started as a seemingly straightforward challenge to a versus battle had evolved into one of hip-hop's most intricate modern feuds. It involved reputations, legal history, families, celebrity commentary, and the digital strategies of 2 iconic figures. Music, memes, social media, and legal documentation all intertwined, illustrating just how high the stakes could go when respect, legacy, and family collide in hip-hop culture. The world watched, debated, and waited. But one thing was clear: the battle had transcended music, becoming a cultural flashpoint that highlighted the unspoken rules of power, credibility, and retaliation in modern rap. And while fans continue to speculate about the next chapter, one truth remains indisputable. When families, legal history, and legacy collide in the public eye, hip-hop battles stop being just about beats. They become about survival, honor, and respect. The T.I. and 50 Cent saga stands as a stark reminder that some battles never truly end. They only evolve, pulling in new voices, new stories, and new controversies at every turn. For fans of hip-hop, versus battle became more than just live-streamed music events. They became cultural phenomena. These showdowns allowed legendary artists to face off in real time, performing their most iconic songs while viewers watched, commented, and voted online. What started as a creative solution during the pandemic quickly evolved into a platform that could shape legacies, reignite rivalries, and crown new champions. Fans didn't just tune in for nostalgia. They tuned in to witness history being made, one beat at a time. And it was on that stage, both literal and metaphorical, that T.I. made his first bold move. On 50 Cent's birthday, T.I. posted a video publicly challenging him to a versus battle. His challenge wasn't subtle. He told 50 to bring 20 of his biggest hits and face him on the stage. But it wasn't just a friendly competition. T.I.'s message carried a sharp undertone. He reminded fans of one of hip-hop's most famous chart battles, Kanye West versus 50 Cent in 2007. Kanye's Graduation outsold 50's Curtis, symbolically shifting the culture and signaling that rap's landscape was changing. By invoking that moment, T.I. was making it clear that he believed he could deliver the same type of cultural impact, and perhaps even redefine the narrative in his favor. 50 Cent, however, didn't bite. He laughed off the challenge, dismissing it on social media and acting as if it wasn't worth his time. Many assumed the matter would fade into internet oblivion, a footnote in the history of hip-hop rivalries. But in this world, where timing, history, and respect are everything, no spark goes unremarked for long. Fast forward to early 2026, T.I. began revisiting the idea of a versus battle, but this time, his comments carried a bombshell claim. He stated that the battle had been discussed privately between him and 50 Cent. T.I. alleged that the two had spoken about it while doing shows in Los Angeles, and that he had been chosen to announce the matchup publicly. But once the challenge hit social media, 50 Cent allegedly acted confused, pretending the conversation never happened. This claim instantly stirred the hip-hop world. In rap culture, accusing someone of dishonesty or inconsistency isn't just an insult, it's a direct challenge to their credibility. T.I. made it clear that if 50 didn't want the battle, he should have said so outright. Instead, according to him, 50 Cent feigned ignorance. And in hip-hop, pretending to forget a commitment isn't just disrespectful, it's a strike against your legacy. When T.I.'s accusations spread online, 50 Cent responded, and his approach was ruthless. He didn't record a single diss track, which would have been the expected move. Instead, he wielded social media like a weapon. Within hours, his Instagram was filled with content targeting T.I.'s history. He posted clips from the 2008 Crime Stoppers commercial, where T.I. had urged communities to report crimes. Another clip showed T.I. testifying in a courtroom during the murder trial of his close friend Philante Johnson. The captions were mocking, implying that T.I. was a snitch, a charge that, in hip-hop culture, is career-threatening. And then came the nickname. In one brutal Instagram comment, 50 Cent referred to T.I. as King Rat. The phrase spread like wildfire. Fans, blogs, and Twitter feeds erupted in debate, and suddenly, what was a potential versus battle had transformed into a full-scale character war. T.I., of course, did not stay quiet. His response was immediate and incendiary. He posted, "You playing on my name when only one of us a rat in real life," followed by a line that would ignite speculation across the internet. "I got paperwork." In hip-hop, paperwork is explosive. It suggests documents, court filings, or transcripts that could prove cooperation with authorities, a career-damaging allegation if verified. Suddenly, the feud shifted from music to credibility, from memes to legacy. Then 50 Cent escalated in a new, unprecedented way. Instead of responding to T.I., he posted an unflattering photo of Tiny Harris, T.I.'s wife. The caption suggested it was a message for T.I. to stay silent. Attacking family members is widely viewed as off-limits in rap conflicts, and this move sparked a visceral reaction. But before T.I. could respond, his son, King Harris, jumped into the fray. Within minutes, King posted fiery messages defending his mother, referencing 50 Cent's past controversies, and even calling out 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, in a warning not to involve their family. At that point, the feud had escalated far beyond music. Fans were watching in real time as entire families became involved. Diss tracks, resurfaced allegations, and social media war combined into one of the most chaotic public rap conflicts in recent memory. 50 Cent, normally relentless, doubled down on trolling, reposting memes, sarcastic commentary, and clips mocking the Harris family. Meanwhile, T.I.'s side responded with music, tweets, and social media posts defend. Ding their honor. Even celebrity figures got drawn in. Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, posted support for Tiny Harris, praising her confidence and beauty. 50 Cent reposted the image with a sarcastic comment, mocking her involvement before deleting it amid backlash. Meanwhile, T.I. continued to release multiple diss tracks: War, The Right One, What Bully, and Lessons. Each track escalated the conflict, targeting 50 Cent's career, credibility, and trolling strategies while defending his family. Then came a turning point that nobody saw coming: federal paperwork. This revelation didn't come from T.I., but from King Harris. In a post that immediately went viral, King shared alleged FBI documents from 2009 connected to the murder of Lowell "Lodi" Mac Fletcher, a figure tied to G-Unit, the crew associated with 50 Cent. The documents suggested 50 Cent may have provided information to federal agents regarding the case. King captioned the post provocatively, "I got 21 questions, but answer this one: who was Lodi Mac after he died? That's when you started fearing for your life. You called my dad a rat with no paperwork. Well, here's yours." The post blew up. Hip-hop blogs dissected the documents, Twitter erupted in debate, and podcasts spent hours analyzing every frame of the alleged FBI reports. However, legal analysts pointed out that the documents were not new. Allegations about 50 Cent's connection to federal investigations had circulated during the 2017 trial of Jimmy "Henchman" Rosemond, who was convicted for orchestrating Lodi Mac's murder. According to court records, Henchman's conviction relied on witness testimony and intercepted communications, not cooperation from 50 Cent. But in hip-hop culture, perception often matters more than legal nuance, and the perception alone was devastating. For years, 50 Cent had built a reputation around exposing other rappers as informants. He had repeatedly called T.I. a rat, using commercials and courtroom footage as evidence. Now, the internet was questioning whether the tables had turned. Following King Harris' post, something striking happened. 50 Cent, the master of trolling, went silent. His Instagram, normally filled with memes, clips, and insults, was scrubbed clean of any content related to T.I., Tiny Harris, or King Harris. Fans immediately noticed. Gone were the posts, the mockery, the trolling that had fueled the feud for weeks. Then 50 Cent posted a single photo of himself boarding a private jet, captioned, "I'm out of here. You guys hurt my feelings." Framed as a joke, the timing was impossible to ignore. This silence shocked fans. The man who had never backed down from a beef, who thrived on chaos and confrontation, was suddenly quiet at a moment when the stakes were higher than ever. Meanwhile, T.I. continued to double down with music, pushing the feud into full-blown lyrical warfare. His sons released tracks defending their mother and their family's honor. King Harris even filmed a music video wearing a shirt featuring a photo of 50 Cent's late mother, a statement so personal it blurred the lines between family, legacy, and music. The feud, which began with a simple versus challenge, had become a cultural phenomenon. Diss tracks, family members, resurfaced murder investigations, accusations of snitching flipped on the accuser, and a social media blackout from the side that normally thrived on chaos. All of it made this one of the most watched and analyzed hip-hop conflicts in recent memory. T.I.'s diss tracks showcased a strategic escalation. War set the tone, aggressive and unrelenting. The right one dove deeper, mocking 50 Cent's career and relationships. What Bully addressed 50's trolling and meme tactics, and Lessons concluded the sequence with reflective bars about respect, family, and the essence of hip-hop battles. Each track was calculated, showing T.I.'s commitment to turning the conflict into a musical narrative rather than a social media spectacle. Meanwhile, 50 Cent maintained his silence musically, focusing on memes, jokes, and sarcastic posts. Some fans speculated he was avoiding a real lyrical confrontation, while others believed his silence was strategic. At this point, he was more than just a rapper. He was a mogul with ventures in television, film, and business. Responding to diss tracks could risk elevating T.I.'s profile while offering little benefit to 50 Cent's already established empire. The dynamics created a unique tension. Fans debated whether 50 Cent's silence was an act of superiority or a tactical retreat. Some believed he was preparing a bigger response behind the scenes, possibly in a form that went beyond music, maybe a documentary-style project, a surprise track, or media leverage. Others speculated that the feud might eventually culminate in a real lyrical showdown, not a friendly versus, but a full-scale hip-hop battle, potentially defining their legacies for decades to come. One thing became clear: this feud was no longer just about hits or memes. It was about legacy, credibility, family, and street respect. T.I., representing the Southern rap tradition, used his music as a weapon, reminding the world why he was the king of the South. His influence from albums like Trap Music, Urban Legend, and King had defined Southern rap for over a decade. 50 Cent, meanwhile, leveraged his empire and media presence, showing that power in hip-hop extended beyond the booth. With the addition of federal paperwork, personal attacks, and a generational layer through T.I.'s sons, the feud reached new heights of complexity. Music, social media, and legal history intertwined, creating a scenario where fans were no longer spectators. They were analysts, dissecting documents, lyrics, and posts, wondering who truly had the upper hand. Even as the dust settled, the question remained: who was winning? T.I.'s musical response was undeniable, strategically planned and executed, while 50 Cent's silence created an aura of mystery and control. The feud had shifted from a rivalry to a cultural event, capturing attention across generations and platforms. Every move, post, track, or deleted meme became material for debate. And despite all this, the story is far from over. In hip-hop, unfinished business rarely stays quiet. Fans are waiting, watching, refreshing feeds, analyzing every clip. The next move could be musical, social, or something entirely unexpected. One thing is certain: the T.I. and 50 Cent saga has become a case study in modern rap warfare, demonstrating how music, family, reputation, and media strategy collide to create one of the most explosive and complex feuds of the era. As of now, the stage is set. T.I. has proven he can escalate musically, protect his family, and control the narrative. 50 Cent, by contrast, has shown the power of silence, selective posting, and leveraging his media empire. Fans, analysts, and commentators continue to speculate, debating who has the upper hand, who will strike next, and what the long-term implications will be for both legacies. The stakes are no longer just about hits. They're about credibility, respect, and the very definition of power in hip-hop. In the end, one lesson is clear: when a feud involves music, family, legacy, and perceived legal entanglements, it transcends entertainment. It becomes a cultural moment, a conversation about values, respect, and survival in one of the most competitive industries in the world. T.I. versus 50 Cent is no longer just a beef. It's a masterclass in escalation, strategy, and the complexities of reputation in modern hip-hop. Fans will continue to watch, dissect, and speculate. And when the next chapter finally unfolds, whether it's bars, memes, or another strategic move, the impact will be felt across the culture, redefining what it means to fight for respect in an era where music, media, and legacy are inseparable. Because the truth is simple: this isn't just a feud. It's a war for legacy, and no one in hip-hop or the world is willing to look away.